What if gender isn't something you are, but something you do every single day? That's the wild and provocative idea at the heart of philosopher Judith Butler's work, and today we're going to unpack it.
Yeah, let's just dive right in with that. Is your gender an innate quality, something that's just always been a part of who you are? Or is it something that gets built, action by action, word by word, over time? How you answer this is really the key that unlocks everything we're talking about today.
And that's exactly the question Judith Butler takes on in this hugely influential book, Gender Trouble. It's considered a foundational text for a reason. It fundamentally challenges the basic assumptions so many of us have about what gender even is and where it comes from.
Okay, so to really get what Butler is saying, we've got to first understand the idea she was arguing against. For centuries, Western thought has kind of treated the human body as this blank page, a neutral object that exists before culture comes along and leaves its mark.
And you can really see just how consistent this idea has been. You look at early Christianity, and the body was seen as this flawed vessel. Then you get Descartes, who famously split the thinking mind from the physical body. Even much later, thinkers who talked about culture writing on the body, they all started from the same place. The body is this neutral thing first, and then culture comes along and gives it meaning.
This quote just captures that old-school view perfectly. The body is passive, a blank page, just sitting there waiting for society to write all its rules and meanings onto it. It's a simple, powerful metaphor, and it's the exact idea Butler sets out to dismantle.
And this is where Butler just flips the whole thing on its head. She argues that we can't even talk about a natural body without using cultural language. So for her, culture doesn't just write on the body, it basically creates the body as we understand it, defining its boundaries and its meaning right from the very start.
All right, so if the body isn't a blank page, then what is it? And where does gender fit into all of this? Well, that leads us right to Butler's most famous, most groundbreaking idea, the concept of gender as a performance.
Okay, let's really unpack this, because this concept is, it's everything. The key word here is performativity. What it means is that your gender isn't some deep internal essence you have, but it's something you do over and over and over. It's constructed from all the repeated actions, gestures, and ways of talking that our culture has stamped as masculine or feminine.
And this, right here, is probably the most radical piece of the whole argument. Butler is essentially saying there's no original, real gender identity hiding inside of you. Instead, that feeling of having an internal identity, that's the result. It's the effect generated by constantly repeating all those external acts.
Okay, so you might be thinking, hang on, if that's true, then why does my gender feel so real, so personal and natural? Well, for Butler, the answer is all about the incredible power of repetition.
And this process here really illustrates how it works. It all starts with one small thing, a gesture, the way you walk, the clothes you wear. Then that gesture gets repeated, not just by you, but by everyone around you in society. Over time, all that repetition makes the act seem totally normal, until it creates this powerful illusion of a natural internal gender. It's like the performance ends up creating the performer.
Now, this is a super important point to get right. When Butler says performance, she's not talking about an actor on a stage who gets to wake up and choose their role for the day. It's actually the opposite. We're sort of compelled to follow these cultural scripts that already exist because, we get rewarded when we conform and we're often punished when we don't. So it's a practice we're pushed into, not some free choice.
So what's the big deal? Why does all this matter? Well, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. Understanding gender as a performance actually opens up brand new possibilities and has real-world consequences for power and for identity. And Butler's really clear on this. These gender scripts aren't neutral at all. They're enforced by these big social power structures that prefer certain performances, like traditional masculinity and heterosexuality, and they tend to penalize anything that falls outside those narrow boxes. These frames of power are actively restricting which kinds of identities are seen as okay, as legitimate. And this is the really hopeful, almost revolutionary spark in her work. If gender is just a collection of repeated acts, if it's not some fixed biological fact, then that means those acts can be changed. The performance itself can be different.
And this, really, is the ultimate takeaway. When people perform gender differently, when they challenge the scripts, break the norms, and create new ways of being, they're not just expressing a different personal choice. According to this theory, they are actively reshaping and expanding the very definition of what gender can even mean.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. Butler's work really asks us to look at our own lives, to look at the world around us not as a set of fixed rules, but maybe more like a stage that's just full of possibilities. So what scripts are we all following without even thinking about it? And more importantly, which ones are ready to be rewritten? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.